It's a great and wonderful opportunity, especially on a beautiful evening like this evening, to enjoy our fellowship together. And that's really the theme of Going Down, which is for some of us, for the last time, to be in each other's company on this particular stage of our journey, and also to celebrate the spirit of lifelong fellowship. And I'm sure you all feel, as I do, that as we've come together to study, we'll leave together as fast friends. And hopefully, from our collaborative efforts as students, we'll become collaborators in life and in action. And there's no other purpose than Going Down but to celebrate that fellowship. I do have the honor of introducing Sarah Westwood. Where is Sarah? Behind. Oh, right behind. There she is, who's our first speaker of the evening. Sarah is the first woman graduate of Sachs, or Rhodes Scholar from Sachs, has 2 degrees from UCT in psychology and experimental psychology. Did I get that right? Is working on evidence-based social intervention here at Oxford, has investigated the psychology of humor, which I think is very exciting, and magic. And before she dies, she wants to see a blue whale. No lie. Sarah.
Good evening, everyone. It's a great honor to be able to share a few words with you this evening. Here we go. One of the worst days of my life was the day the sorting hat put me in Slytherin. I was about 11 at the time. I knew I'd answered the questionnaire honestly, and I was completely devastated. Slytherin. Now, for those of you who have not watched or read Harry Potter, I actually just have nothing to say to you. There are 4 houses at the magical school Hogwarts: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. And in Ron Weasley's words, there ain't a witch or wizard that went bad that wasn't in Slytherin. Bellatrix Lestrange, Lucius Malfoy, Lord Voldemort, and worst of all, in my opinion, Dolores Umbridge. I was a Slytherin, and I kept it secret for years. It wasn't until the early hours of the 22nd of July, 2007, when I closed Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, having devoured it in about a day, that I became proud to be a Slytherin. In the character of Severus Snape, a Slytherin, I saw a broken, flawed man choose over and over again to do what was right, despite facing immense danger. Snape turned out to be fiercely loyal, admirably cunning, and unwaveringly noble. Slytherins, I realized, are not predestined to be bad, though some of the characteristics that define them do make them vulnerable to developing a certain selfishness. Slytherins are ambitious, committed, perfectionistic, and very protective of the people and things they care about. Sound familiar? Ambition, commitment, perfectionism, and being protective of the people and things they care about are characteristics of most, if not all, Rhodes Scholars. Yes, today I am suggesting that each of you has a bit of Slytherin in you. There's no doubt that you have to be ambitious or committed to win a Rhodes Scholarship. Such a scholarship does not generally just fall into one's lap. Endeavoring to win a Rhodes Scholarship is an ambitious goal, and in order to win one, your ambitions to change the world must be greater still. To be fearlessly ambitious and committed to the pursuit of what sets our souls on fire is no doubt a good and noble thing. But I think we would do well to always exercise a bit of caution as we pursue our ambitions. I've seen from my own experience that a byproduct of great ambition and commitment can be selfishness. This happens when our eyes are too focused on the goal and we forget what is to the left and to the right. This can cloud judgment and lead to totally avoidable brokenness. So let us resolve as we leave Oxford, or indeed go on to do the DPhil, not to be so committed to our ambitions that we forget about the world around us. particularly our families. I think many of us have a very type A perfectionistic streak in us. I know I have tried to be perfect all my life. I've worked incredibly hard to achieve as near perfection as I could in my academic work, my social relationships, my leadership roles, and my faith. Everything I did has been carefully thought through and rehearsed, so as to ensure I did not make a fool of myself. In 2007, I set upon the quest for the perfect body and was soon diagnosed with anorexia nervosa. 8 years later, I came to Oxford, still clinically quite severely underweight and needing lots of medical and psychological help. My greatest achievement during my time at Oxford has been to gain 10 kilograms. So I can stand before you today, a healthy weight, for the first time in a decade. I have many of you to thank for that. The support and non-judgmentalism I have found among Rhodes scholars and Rhodes staff has been unlike any community I've ever been a part of. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. The drive for perfection is a beast we all have to learn to tame in our own way, though I think not totally do away with. But let's always remember that in the words of the incomparable Mary Eaton, I don't know why you're laughing, she is incomparable, but in her words, perfection is never the expectation. Finally, my experience is that Slytherins and Rhodes scholars alike are very protective of the people and things they care about. My favorite line in Rhodes's will is that scholars should, and I quote, have sympathy and protection of the weak. I think that when we hear this, our minds immediately jump to people groups we might consider weak, or to abandoned or endangered animals. And I think this is what Rhodes meant. But I think it also applies to spheres of society that are weak and need our support. As you will have gathered, given the theme of this talk, both literature and film, and by extension all the arts, are very important to me. And I believe the arts are one of these areas of society that is often weak and could do with our support. I firmly believe that, in the words of the great Julie Andrews, the arts are the lowest common denominator for the proliferation of good in the world, but they are often the first things to be cut when budgets need to be tightened and our lives get too busy. Can I encourage you? Support your local philharmonic or dance company, and most importantly, to support those arts that are indigenous to the place you find yourself living. Before I conclude, I would like to give everyone the opportunity to take a moment to pause and take a look around the room. You can do it. I give you permission. Take a mental video as you do. This is your souvenir to hold on to. Take in the reality that seated in this room is a group of people who will love, encourage, and no doubt challenge you for the rest of your life as you seek to, in your own way, fight the world's fights. So, here's to us, the going down class of 2017. In the words of Dumbledore, may we have the courage to choose, when the time comes, between what is right and what is easy. And may we remember, in the words of Hermione, that our books and cleverness are one thing, but there are more important things, like friendship and bravery. I think all the Harry Potter fans seated in this room tonight, which I have no doubt is most of you, will agree with me that there is only one suitable phrase to bring our time at Oxford, or as I like to call it, Hogwarts for grown-ups, to a close. So in the words of the Marauders, Messrs. Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs, mischief managed. Thank you very much.